Round 1, Vintage Challenge on 2/22/2020. Coming off of last week's win with Breacher Painter. Yeah, probably close enough. I wasn't super impressed with the Painter Breach deck continuing on. It doesn't actually seem very strong. I think we were more lucky than anything. So I couldn't find something I really wanted to play this week. So we're going to play some Esper Paradoxical Outcome. This is similar to the list you'll see, the Power 9 and LSV and run, but I don't really like to play red in my Esper PO list. I would rather not have 2 Volcanics in my deck. I typically play Esper, so Pyroblast gets taken out and we play like extra Lavinia, Knight's Whisper, those kind of cards. I'm trying to play 1 Soul Guide Lantern today in the main. I think there's so much dredge. And it seems like if there was any place for main deck Soul Guide Lantern, it would be PO, where I can, just rebuy it for value. And then in the sideboard, we make a slight adjustment with 2 Containment Priests. Being this heavy in white, we get to play Containment Priest pretty easy, and we get to play Containment Priest on turn 1 typically, which is pretty nice. Especially with Dredge bringing in Leyline of Sanctity to beat Tormod's Crypt. So this is very heavily geared to the Dredge decks and Hollow Vine and Oath decks that you're seeing on Magic Online in very large numbers right now. So hopefully we will not get Collector Oofed too much today, and we can just bowl the Citadel some people out. Round 1 versus Kukurik. We've got tons of mana, a Force of Will. Definitely going to keep this. Yeah, it's not nonsense, so there's basically no way I can win with it. So our best draw here, still probably like Ancestral or PO or something along those lines. We take Tundra though. Tundra's going to not let us play Teferi on turn 1, but it will let us protect our Academy. We could choose not protect our Academy to hold up Hardcast Force of Will is the alternative line. And I actually think I like that alternative line. Though I can play around Daze on my Jet if I play Tundra. I don't think I care about playing around Daze here. Thanks, Biggie. So I'm gonna just play out the Mana Crypt, hold open Hardcast Force of Will, and then at the end of turn, if there's nothing happened, then I'll just Vampiric for Tinker. This is like slightly risky. If opponent ends up on a Wasteland deck, we lose our Tolarian Academy. But I think there's a high upside for this. So it's Rug, so it was a Wasteland deck. Dreadhorde Arcanist. I'm just going to let the Dreadhorde Arcanist resolve, and we're going to try to Tinker with Force of Will back up. Can we afford to even play Teferi first? We're going to have 2 blue, a white. We would lose our land drop, but we might be able to even play Teferi first. Haven't done the... So I could go 2 blue, colorless, white, 1 blue, and a colorless. So if I use my land drop, I can play a Teferi first. Kind of nice. I'm going to probably protect the Teferi from Force of Will, because the Teferi will just bounce this Dreadhorde, giving them pretty much no tempo. I mean, I'm still going to bounce this Dreadhorde because having an extra card... Well, I'm not going to do it now in case I have a land on top with Tinker. Yeah, I need to keep that black mana. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I actually would rather have the Mana Crypt. Should cast this holding priority. Okay. So I have to put 2 back. I only have 1 mana currently. So if I just put away 1 card I don't want and then just cast Merchant Scroll to shuffle, that's fine. Just get Ancestral. Alright, that should be just game. Okay, not really finding. So I play this to 7. So how low do I want to go here? I guess is the next question. I guess we can spin and see what's going on. Opal. I'd like to find Time Walk and just not give my opponent a turn, but I definitely can give my opponent a turn. We don't have a Mana Crypt in play, which is worth noting. Okay, so Demonic Tutor. I should probably. Can I undo? That's unfortunate. If I had done that correctly, I could have left the Delta on top, drawn, cast Demonic Tutor. Well, I still have, yeah, I could have gotten the Time Walk that way, but unfortunately, I didn't do it that way. So, what if I Demonic Tutor for Black Lotus, Snapcaster? No. I mean, Paradoxical Outcome probably wins it, right? Blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I go to 2. Yeah, Time Walk and just win the game. This deck does some busted things. Citadel is a powerful Magic card. So I just want to not play anything that's going to harm me, but the Mana Crypt is already in the graveyard, so there's really nothing that I can misplay here, I don't think. Teferi looked pretty good there. Alright, let's go to the next turn. I'm just going to discard lands and things opponent has already seen. Just need to cast 1 spell for lethal. Okay, on to game 2. Man, Bolas Citadel. What a great mistake. Yeah, it's pretty nice that Teferi can clear a land even if I were to whiff on Bolas' Citadel there. It's a pretty big game. So, we've seen Dreadhorde Arcanist, Volcanic Island, and Tropical Island. So it might be like a Thomas Marr 4-color Walker deck. That's what it looks like. So Deathrite Shaman, Dreadhorde, Walkers, 3 days. So it's possible I wanted to play around days a little harder than I did. So Nature's Claim, Pyroblast, 3 Pyroblasts, Ancient Grudges. Oh man, I am cold today. Reba, it's not even a good deck anymore. You can't be mad. So there's a Dak Faden and an Oko. So we're definitely not bringing in Blightsteel. No Legends, so we're not bringing Caracas. Probably some Flusterstorms. Doesn't actually seem like a balanced matchup. Doesn't really seem like a Swords matchup. How is Lavinia against this deck? It's only okay. Don't need a Hercules recall. Do I need a Soul Guide Lantern? Soul Guide Lantern's fine. Maybe I'll just go down 1 Lavinia and just keep the Soul Guide Lantern. I'm not really sure if this is a match. I mean, this is a matchup where Soul Guide Lantern is good, I think, but Lavinia's also fine. It's gonna stop like Daze, Misstep, Force, Dig, Cruise, and then like any fast plays opponent had. Opponent is on 3 Wasteland, 1 Strip Mine. I'm trying to figure out if I'd rather have a Lavinia or a Soul Guide Lantern. I think the answer is Lavinia, because Lavinia actually stops a lot of the things Soul Guide Lantern stops as well. Oh yeah, I mean, Tinker's a dumb fucking card. I mean, Tinker is like pretty reasonable card if you just take away Bolas' Citadel. Like, Blightsteel Colossus is a threat, but an answerable threat. Bolas Citadel is just not really. I think this hand is quite bad. Especially with London Mulligan, you should be looking for more powerful starts than this. I don't even have like the ability to repeal a Deathrite Shaman on turn 1. Yeah, Bolas Citadel was a mistake, for sure. This is much better. Obviously, we're missing a Mox from being great, but I will get rid of the Flusterstorm. It's important to have all my combo pieces, and then I think a Singleton Misstep is better than... I think Misstep and Force is better than having Fluster and Force. I'm looking to really just like rip the Mox and just go for the PO on turn 1. And Misstep will protect versus Pyroblast. It's okay. Did you see what I'm going to play in between rounds, Breva? I'm going to try this deck in between rounds. Alright, so they have... Okay, so we drew the nuts. Actually, we drew the straight fire nuts. So we can actually play around Daze. And we could actually have had Flusterstorm instead of Misstep Force here. I'm not going to play around anything here. I'm going to jam. So actually, the best thing that we could have had this turn is actually Fluster Misstep, which is kind of insane. There's like very, very few draws where we would want to have Fluster Misstep instead of Force Misstep. But this would, if we had Fluster Misstep, we would like just 100% resolve this PO. Oh god, it just resolved. I see. Okay. I wonder if that means they have their own misstep here. So they do have a misstep. We drew okay. We're just gonna look for a PO to refuel. Oh. Oh my. Okay. That's all of my Force of Wills. So that PO didn't actually go that great. Cleared 3 cards off the top, though. We will be able to hold up hardcast Force of Will after this turn, which is pretty nice. So we'll draw into our Force of Will, pass the turn back, hold up hardcast Force of Will. If they choose not to do anything, then we can spin again. Maybe I should find another sweatshirt. Oh, I have this. All right, now we're nice and warm. So what is this gonna be? Just a time walk? Demonic Tutor. That's fine. So I'm gonna rearrange my top 3 to draw the Tundra instead of the Force. That way we can spin on our turn and see if there's a PO. Opponent's tapped out. We have a Force backup, so I would really like to find a PO. Okay. This way we're advancing our mana as well. Yawgmoth's Will. That's technically a PO, but we would need... So let's see. We activate our Opal for black, put it in the bin, play a new Opal, 2, and then... So we use that. We have 2 mana. We get a 3rd mana. We get a 4th mana. We PO without top. No. We don't want to do that this turn. I would rather leave another Force on top. Have the ability to hardcast Force, draw Force. If we don't have to force anything with hardcast Force this turn, then we can spin the Yawgmoth's Will back on top, and then we have an extra mana to work with. And we don't have to eat our top. I don't think it's worth it there. I guess I do have to play slightly faster. Took a little longer than I'd like comboing off in game 1. Maybe I was talking too much. Okay, so opponent's just gonna hold up everything again. pretty down with spin Yogwill to the top. Okay, they're gonna respond here. This is gonna be like grudge. I see. That's not a big deal, because we'll just Yogwill them back. They're gonna grudge this Opal now. They're gonna grudge my Sapphire now. Yeah. So I end up losing an Opal mana, but it's fine. Oh no, it's not fine because I don't have a mana. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay. I don't think I was gonna force that, but yeah, obviously not fine. Clearly not fine. Yeah, I guess we're going to not ever need another force. Man, these two forces on top are really bad. Hey, Outcast, you can check out the Cardboard Live. Not the Cardboard Live. The Cardboard Live. It's just an Esper PO list that's slightly teched out for a dredge heavy metagame. Oh, that's really bad for us. It's really, really bad for us. I mean, like, it's still not that bad because we have a Yogwill, but opponent correctly, like, took out my thing so I couldn't play an Opal, and I didn't have an extra Moxin on the top of my library, so... Obviously, we'll just draw into this island, play the island, take another look. We're looking for a Moxin off the top, really. I guess we would rather draw Force of Will. Yeah, I don't really think that I would have forced the second Ancient Grudge, but I actually probably should have forced the second Ancient Grudge. I actually just can't operate on the current mana. Oh, that's so bad for us. It's okay still. Like, we just need one Moxin to really get there. Maybe I was too conservative on the initial Yawgmoth's Will line, but I knew that I was going to draw into, like, top force, so it didn't actually, like, get me anywhere, you know? It wasn't actually going to dig me out of the problem. Yeah, I'm just going to force this. They're going to have a Flusterstorm? A Daze? It's kind of frustrating. I don't really think I'm going to win this game, unfortunately. I don't really actually think I can let an Ancestral resolve. This is really bad. The double Wasteland was pretty brutal. I guess, in hindsight, countering the Grudge would have been correct, which is pretty interesting to me. I could just use a Lotus off this top here, and we're all set too. Get Probe. Yeah, alright. All it really takes is one interaction spell for PO to fall apart. I don't know if anyone ever really considered that, but... really, just like, all it took was an Ancient Grudge, and my whole plan is in shambles. Daze, Force of Will. Jesus. I'm never gonna be able to play around this Daze, so... I think I'm just gonna die. I guess I can wait. I know I have a Mentor on top. This turns off the Force of Will. Maybe that was wrong. That might have just been wrong. Just try to hold out. Yeah, it's probably bad. What'd you draw? You just drew a... Oh, alright. Well, now we're 100% dead, because opponent's gonna flashback Ancestral. Alright, I see. So maybe too conservative on the initial. No, the initial Yawgmoth's will would in truth just have drawn me top force. Granted, that like clears the top of my library, but is that like good enough? Maybe that would be good enough to win this game, because then we would draw into Mentor. Yeah. Hmm. No, but then we would have just gotten forced back on our Yawgmoth's will. We needed to have force to protect our Yawgmoth's will. We also would have gotten dazed with that line, and we really can't afford to be dazed. Maybe the correct answer is we were supposed to force the Demonic Tutor. But if we hardcast force on the Demonic Tutor, we still would have gotten dazed if they had dazed at the time. I think we were like... I think we just bricked a little too hard on our PO. Our PO just did not, sometimes you cast Ancestral and you draw 3 lands, right? I think we really needed to chain POs there. Yeah, well, this hand's good shit, for sure. Unfortunately, we have to play all of our mana sources to be able to hold up Flusterstorm for Mentor, or play all of our mana sources to play Lavinia at all. But I think the answer is just play our mana sources, jam Lavinia on turn 1. And then next turn, Mentor Fluster back up. This way, it eats the Force of Will. We don't get Wastelanded, but we could get something to kill our Opal. The plus side of Mentor is we obviously have the Flusterstorm. The Flusterstorm is going to be great if opponent doesn't have a force, and still pretty good, obviously, if they have a force. Maybe... I don't have any follow-ups. If I had, like, at least one follow-up for this Mentor, I would just jam the Mentor. But 0 follow-ups against, like, the multiple Lightning Bolt deck, I assume they're still on multiple Lightning Bolts, is kind of not great. I'm not 100% sure on the correct lead here. Highest upside is like Mentor, right? They just have nothing. Then you have a Mentor with a Flusterstorm open. But we really don't have any spells. And Lavinia is really only helping us with Force of Will. I mean, like, Daze Misstep, I guess, but those don't really matter in the context of we have turn 1 Mentor. So, I think it's a discussion, Reba. I actually don't think it's just straightforward jam Mentor here. I think there's a discussion to be had. I think the answer is going to be jam Mentor here, but there's also Mindbreak Trap, which we don't think the opponent plays, but yeah, this is clearly PO is broken hand. Wait, no, that's Monastery Mentor. We don't really even get to jam Lavinia next turn unless we used our Fluster already. Obviously, our best draws on the next turn are something like Ancestral, but that's normally the best draw. Does this deck actually play any Delve spells? I made it. But, okay, I'm on 0 Delve spells. I don't like that very much. I like to have a dig through time in these lists. Soul Guide Lantern could have been a dig through time. Yikes. Not as often The problem with streaming League of Legends is that, or are you saying stream? Are you asking if I stream vintage leagues, or are you asking if I stream League of Legends? I guess is a better question. I stream leagues when I play them, and then League of Legends, I have a hard time streaming it because I have a hard time keeping up a level of play that I am okay with. So like my with Magic, when you stream, you drop some percentage, but not a super high percentage. When I stream League of Legends, I drop a very high amount of skill. Just like I become really, really bad, and I can't do it. I am gonna play Clash tonight, though. I don't know if I'll stream Clash. It seemed like kind of a free roll to stream it. I probably won't interact with chat, but so this is really good if opponent just like bolted here and we flustered. It looks like it's gonna be a Death Ray Shaman though. So I'm really looking for on color Moxen would be reasonable. Preordained, Knight's Whisper, those kind of things are really, really good. PO is obviously insane. I guess PO is probably the nut draw. But really just spells and blue sources. That's perfect. Absolutely what I wanted to see. So we're just playing a Xerox deck. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see here. How do we want to play this? I can't play any of these spells without fetching. So I guess I really want Ancestral. I probably just jam Ancestral after fetch too. If it gets forced... No, I have Fluster Ancestral next turn. I guess I don't want to do that. I think I still want to fetch before my next turn. But I don't think I want to cast Ancestral right now with Fluster being an option. I think this is good enough. I guess I can get Okoed. And I really want extra monks. But I can make that decision during the middle of next turn, I guess. Then I can't get Force of Negation either. Not that I don't think the opponent plays any Force of Negation. We're a little short on blue sources again. I think the next turn I would love a Mox Opal, an Island, or a Sapphire, or a Lotus. Obviously, Lotus is great. Lotus is obviously the best because that lets us play Lavinia into Fluster Ancestral. A Petal was fine. Lotus is like the only one that... Lotus and Tolarian Academy are about the only ones that let us do Lavinia into Ancestral Fluster. Not casting Ancestral here also lets us keep moving a Flusterstorm for something like Lightning Bolt. If opponent were to like Lightning Bolt right now with 0 Storm count, I think I would still probably Fluster it just to tap them completely out and get a Monk. If this is an Ancestral, am I Flustering it? Probably. Probably not. Probably? It could go poorly. They would like play a land, time walk, post Ancestral, post Fluster. But I feel like they'd play a land if they wanted to play an Ancestral, right? So they can pay for it. Ponder. Yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna Fluster a Ponder here. I probably would Fluster Time Walk, though. Seems like a pretty free roll. And then I'm really hoping to just draw the Island. So I think I'm going to crack for an Island on my upkeep. I don't think I want Repeal. I think I'd rather look for a better card. Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna jam Ancestral here. I believe I'll fluster basically anything, because my Yawgmoth's is fucked because of this Death-Eye Shaman. I don't have a land in my yard. Okay, a Pyroblast. Yeah, I will fluster this Pyroblast. So they're going to have a second Pyroblast here, or another Flusterstorm. Actually, I beat a Flusterstorm. They have to have 2 Pyroblasts. They have 2 Pyroblasts. Or they have a Lightning Bolt for my Monk. They have 2 Pyroblasts. Okay. That's fine. It's really hard for these fair decks to deal with Monastery Mentor. This is a 7 damage. If I cast Yawgmoth's Will next turn, opponent like has to Death-Ray Shaman my Ancestral, probably, which means they won't have a blocker. I guess if they have a Lightning Bolt here, it's pretty reasonable. I guess an Oko here is pretty reasonable. I guess they could have like Demonic Lightning Bolt as well, right? I guess Treasure Cruise and Dig are both up now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. We could definitely lose this game. 2 Pyroblasts is a lot of Pyroblasts. This Lavinia's looked really bad, but it's mostly because we just had really, really good spells. Like, all the best spells, basically. This Lavinia could have been Mystical or Dig. Both would have been pretty bad, I guess. So, or Fluster main. Could have been a Fluster main. No, did I keep a Fluster in the main? I took the Fluster out. Could have been a Fluster in my main. Or a Night's Whisper. Could have been a Night's Whisper. Night's Whisper would have been good. I mean, it could also have been the 1 Lavinia. I was always going to play 1 Lavinia. The question was if I was going to play 2 Lavinias or not. So it's going to be Merchant Scroll for Ancestral. Or Merchant Scroll for Dig. We obviously don't have a Mental Misstep, so they get to draw 3, but it might just be too late unless they hit, like, Mox Time Walk, I guess. Yeah, I was really cold for the first 2 games of this set, so now I'm nice and warm. I'm wondering if I'm cold or I'm just like, you'd think I wouldn't be like nervous streaming anymore, but you still get a little bit of it. Just like get some shakes at the start. Okay, so we have, did they find a Lightning Bolt then? No, they found a blue card. Interesting. I don't know what, I guess they're going to look for like Black Lotus if they already have Time Walk, or they're going to look for Time Walk if they already have Black Lotus. If not, they're just going to die. Okay, cool. It's really hard for the like 4-color fair deck to pull through that situation against turn 1 Mentor. Alright, we take those. We take those. Okay, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 matches. All of them are in game 3. We probably shouldn't start a match. If anyone wants to challenge me to just like a vintage match with any deck,